Quilting Tale today. My name is Shaylin, and today I wanted to talk about the 24th annual Western Washington Quilt Shop Hop that's going on right now until June 29th. There are 40 participating quilt shops, and it's my first time trying to hop to each shop and visit them. It's a lot of fun. There's a passport that you get stamped by each store, and if you get 13 stamps you can enter your passport in to get some prizes. But there's also a free pattern or pattern kit that you can purchase with a specialty fabric made just for the quilt shop hop, and so it's been fun picking up those patterns. And if there's someone under 18, like my two daughters, they each get a little charm square at each shop, so they're building their stash up. It's been a lot of fun just going to those shops with them. So I just wanted to show you some of the cool finds that I've been able to get at the different shops. What I've noticed is each shop has its own personality and will carry different lines of fabric that another may not have, and so I was really trying to only get fabrics that I don't normally see, that aren't very common and popular and in a lot of quilt shops right now, but just some that seem unique that I haven't run into. And so I was able to find a bunch, and I wanted to share those with you. I don't know what I'm going to do with all of them just yet, but I'm going to add them to my stash, and some of them I think will work really well together, even though they came from different shops and different lines. So I'll kind of group them by fabrics that I think would make a nice project together, and then I might just have some outliers there that were just too pretty to pass up. So let me bring you in and show you what I found. Alright, so let's start with the fabric that was made specifically for this quilt shop hop. This is called Western Washington Quilt Shop Hop 2023 from In the Beginning Fabrics. And I love nautical whale prints, hot air balloons, so when I saw this was going to be the fabric, I thought I need to participate in this shop hop. What a great time for me to discover it, because how fun is this fabric? It is so whimsical. And this one is a border fabric, I would imagine, or you could fussy cut little pieces to be, you know, centers of blocks or however you'd want to use it. But there's from selvage to selvage, you get four rows of the same design, and a yard will get you the repeat. So I'm not planning on making the whole quilt. I'll show you a picture of if you were to do all the blocks and do it with their fabric kits. There were sample quilts up, and so I'll show you what the finished quilt would look like, but I am not getting all 40 of the blocks, and I'm going to use my own fabric to make those blocks eventually. But look, there's even this Space Needle and the big Ferris wheel. That's really cool. I just couldn't pass up some of this fabric. This also comes with the line. I started with a half yard, and I thought maybe I should do another in case I want to do a binding, because binding are really pretty when they're stripes, and so it matches really well. And then I also got some of this fabric. I think this would be a good backing for something, but I just thought it was cute with the little waves, with all the different patterns in the waves, and the tugboats and sailboats and whale tails in there, lighthouses. So yeah, this one is all from that same line, and there were a few more in there also, but these were my favorites from that line. sticking with the kind of nautical ocean theme, I combined some of the fabrics I found at different shops, and those shop hop fabrics I just showed are available at every participating shop, I think, just while supplies last. And so I found all kinds of fun sea creature and boat fabric. These ones all came from a shop called So Hip, and that one was in Gig Harbor, Washington. That found just the whales and seahorses. I love these colors with the kind of tan and navy and light blues in here. That was so pretty. And then this pen and ink style drawing. It has a little bit of peach in it, in the tugboats and lighthouses, but it's just little fishing villages, and I just thought that one looks so nice and would complement a lot of the other fabrics that I found. So just have little schools of fish here. And I love sea otters, and I thought these ones were so precious. They're kind of black, and then there's some light blue, kind of this turquoisey color in there too. So those were really sweet. And so those, like I said, all came from So Hip in Gig Harbor. There was another shop in Port Townsend called Creative Union Fabrics, and I found several at this one. This one is my absolute favorite. It has these little scuba cats. I think there's, yeah, even little mercats in there. I thought this was so cute. I'm not going to share all the lines, but I just feel like this one says Clara Jean for Dear Stella. So Dear Stella Designs, that's as much as I got on the selvage there. But I just thought this was adorable. If there are other fabrics that you want to know what line it is, you can leave me a comment and I'll see if it's on the selvage. But just for time's sake, I'm going to show what I have here. So here's another one. This one has little whales and octopuses, turtles. There's narwhals in here. So again, I just think all these colors work well, even though they're not all from the same line. This one, just the coral in there, I thought would look good with some of the corals that are in others. This one, I think it's called Whale Tails. Yes, this one had a cute little selvage there, but it is what it says there with, again, the little scalloped waves. So very cute. So those were all from Creative Union Fabrics. Then this one I liked because it was just really the Pacific Northwest in that pen and ink style. It came in gray, black, and I opted for the navy blue. And so there are some kind of ocean themed images in here, the ferry, the orcas, but there's also the mountains. I think this is supposed to be Mount Rainier, Seattle scene, some of the wildlife, and then you have the farmlands. And so yeah, there's just a lot of really pretty imagery on this one. And just because I can see it right here, this one is called Pacific Northwest by the Little Cottage for Clothworks, and I believe that's a local Seattle-based fabric company, so that's kind of cool to see. And this one I found at Tangled Threads, and that is in Linden, Washington. They also had some really cute Bigfoot themed fabric at that shop. That just seemed unique. I didn't get any, but I thought it was really cute. This one I'm so excited for because it's just a different type of fabric. It kind of feels, I don't know if you can hear it, it almost feels like vinyl. It reminds me of those tablecloths that you can just wipe really easily, and then on the back it feels a little more like fabric. They had made an umbrella with it, and it just made me, you buy the umbrella frame separately, but it just made me wonder about this fabric and what else you could make with it. Right now I'm just picturing a little thread catcher, enders and leader catcher for my sewing desk, because I think you could empty it and not have all the threads stick to it. But again, it has the whales, and I just love whale prints. And so, like I said, this one came from, or maybe I didn't say, this came from Quilted Strait, which is in Port Gamble, Washington. So a lot of these got while I was on the peninsula, which makes sense. They have all these ocean-themed fabrics, but yeah, I really can't wait to use this, and was told it quilts just like regular fabric, but if you seam rip out of it, you know it's going to leave some holes, that it's wipeable, washable. You don't put it in the dryer though. You can iron it on the back to get out creases, but yeah, I'm really excited to try this one. This batch is for a quilt I'm going to be making for my husband, and right now I'm just in the collecting fabric stage. I'm just trying to get some kind of outdoorsy, particularly fly fishing related fabric, and so I found these ones at Casey's Crafts in Langley, Washington. So I've got the different trout and the flies and the different fly rods, and then I know he just likes plaids, and so I thought this blue one was nice, and I believe this one was Creative Union's fabric where I got this one. But I'm just going to add that to a stash for a future quilt that I'm working on for him. I also got some of these low volumes in this stripe to potentially use in my extravaganza quilt I'm making, where I just need softer backgrounds for my hexagon blocks. And these came from Calico Creations in Mount Vernon. Same with this one. This one came from A Plus Sewing in Manchester. And then this one was also on clearance at Calico Creations. And I thought I might fussy cut some of the rabbits on here, like a little dot, and the pink goes with my extravaganza fabric. So I thought it might be fun to use some of those bunnies in there. Probably my favorite kind of fabric is the vintage roses. I really like that look, and so I'm just drawn to florals in general. But I found all kinds of different ones at great sale prices. So these two came from Folktales in Linden, Washington. This is a soft buttery yellow and then a bright white with those florals on it. And then I got some other bolder ones. This one I got at Calico Creations in Mount Vernon. That's my favorite quilt shop, the one I go to the most. And they were having a big sale. They have a big sale section and clearance fabrics. I got this one. there. I also got some fat quarters that they had on sale, and some other fabrics that weren't florals there. I got this one. I thought this could work in the extravaganza quilt that I'm making. It has a lot of the pinks and minty greens that are going to be in there. And this one was from that So Hip shop, as well as these. They had a clearance section. I thought these would make great blenders, and I like the colors in these ones. I think they can go with a lot of different things, but I think these were about $5.88 a yard, and so I got these ones. I can't quite remember which shop I got this one from. I feel like this was Calico Creations also in their sale section. And then these 1 yard rolls were also at So Hip in Gig Harbor, Washington. And again, I just thought, thinking of little blender fabrics, that would be nice. And then I'm going to make some room to show this last one in the background. This was from A Plus Sewing in Manchester, Washington, and this is kind of a, it almost feels like canvas. It's a stiffer fabric, and it has this built-in red stripe, and it's a pretty big piece here. But I thought this might make a nice throw pillow, perhaps a decorative pillow, with a trim stripe, or even the lady at the quilt shop was saying that you could even join the red pieces in the middle. More tidy view. So again, just thinking of it maybe as a pillow with the red stripe running between it, and a button or something that might just make it pucker in the middle, or we'll see what I can come up with. But for now, it is just lovely to look at. I also got some seasonal fabrics. This one was from So Hip. I think this is a Free Spirit fabric. It has little gingerbread men and candy canes mixed with trees, and kind of this botanical look to it, and this kind of gingerbread color, this tannish brown color on cream fabric, really pretty. And then this one, I don't know what I'll do with it, but it was just so adorable. These little Christmas bunnies and mice. They're so cute. This might be something worth fussy cutting. But lots of little critters on there, and then little pies and treats. They've got their cheese. And then you have just the Christmassy bulbs and stars, and yeah, just really cute stuff there. And I got a mini charm pack. I don't usually get mini charm packs, but I just thought I'd try this one out. This is Harvest Wishes by Deb Strain, and let's see if I can get the light on this. Oh, this was kind of neat for fall. I don't usually think of teal for fall, but I don't know, I just thought these looked really pretty, whether it was fall or not. But there are those pumpkins and the different blues, so maybe I could use those. I have fabrics that are these colors that aren't necessarily fall related, but I might be able to tie them in. Look at the selvage on this one. That's so sweet. And here's my really random purchase. This came from Quilter's Workshop in Oak Harbor, Washington, and it is strawberry shortcake with her little cat Custard. I love strawberry fabric, and I was thinking about why I have so much of it and where it comes from, because I'm not a big strawberry eater. I love the smell of them, but I associate them with summertime. But I saw a colleague wearing a shirt that had strawberry shortcake on it for our I Love to Read month at school, and it just hit me. I remember how much I loved this cartoon when I was little, and just their little homes they lived in, all the berry themed homes and everything. And I really think just my collection of strawberry fabric has some inspiration with the strawberry shortcake, and so I saw this fabric and I just thought I could probably do something with it and tie it in somehow. Here's my daughter's little hauls from going to each shop. Most of this was just their free little square of fabric they gave. Some gave fat quarters or larger pieces, but most were at least a charm square. And I let them each pick out a mini charm pack. And then this one's my older daughter's pick. Some of them they got to pick which fabric, some of them were given to them, but all very fun and all very generous of the shops to give these to them. I knew my youngest had more pieces. She was using them for little blankets for her toys, so I just found them. But I definitely see some future scrappy string quilts that we're going to be making with this variety of fabric. Finally, here's a peek at some of the patterns that I was able to pick up from these shops. Each shop designed a different block using that fabric I showed at the beginning of this video, and some of them are applique, some of them are traditionally pieced, but you can see Up and Away from Tangled Threads in Linden, Washington. This little applique sailboat and hot air balloon. And this was Creative Union Fabrics pattern, just showcasing that fabric that I got earlier. You can pick a center for it. I'm going to be using my own fabrics for these if I make them, just because I wasn't going to get all 40 of them to make the full quilt. This one came from So Hip in Gig Harbor, and here's a picture of the final block. It's in black and white, but it's a little life ring with a feature fabric in the middle there. This was an applique one from A+ Quilt Shop in Manchester, Washington, called Well Love. Quilted Straight in Port Gamble. They did a little tugboat. And that's just the foundation piecing for it. Quilter's Workshop in Oak Harbor has the scuba diver. Calico Country in Linden has the little ship steering wheel. And I love otters, so Corey's Fabric Creations. This one is in Bellingham. They have a little otter holding the fish. And this was Calico Creations in Mount Vernon. Ben Franklin in Monroe, Washington. There were 3 different Ben Franklins on the list. That was just information for things you could do with your quilt blocks. And then this is Folktales in Linden, Washington. They have a little ship. Quilting Mayhem in Snohomish. That's a little sailboat. And Casey's Craft in Langley, Washington have a little crab. If you find yourself in Western Washington toward the end of June, whether it's this year or in the future, I would highly recommend joining in on the shop hop. You get a little magazine here that shows you the fabric that was designed, so it has that nautical theme fabric on it. There's a little map on the inside that shows you where all the shops are to help with planning, and just how it works is explained, and all the shops' contact information, and then just ads for each shop. Some of them have coupons to use. I think most of them were for later dates, but it's worth checking out for those. And then the back, again, you can get collector stamps there or print them. My daughters got theirs. We just printed them for them, and so they've been getting stamps too. I am going to be heading on a camping trip and won't be able to do it for the full 2 weeks, and so I tried to really cram a bunch in in this first week of it. I've visited 13 shops in 3 days, just all over the peninsula and the northern part of Washington. So I'm hoping next year, or even if I can't make it during the shop hop dates, because we will be passing through southern Washington, I'd still like to check out some of those shops, maybe on the way back. So it's definitely a lot of fun and gets you out there seeing new shops. I've been to a few of these, but there were several that I didn't even know existed or wouldn't have maybe gone out of my way to see them had an event like this not been going on. And so it's just really neat to see all the different stores and see what their vibes are like, and just meet people that are excited about quilting. Thanks for watching some of my quilting journey. If you like these videos, please give it a thumbs up, and thank you for subscribing and just following along on my quilting adventures. So happy quilting, happy shop hopping if you're doing that. If you don't have a shop hop happening, maybe just plot out some quilt shops around you. Maybe Google them and see what's out there that you might not know about and try and link some together. It's a lot of fun to just go shop to shop. So I highly recommend the experience, and I will see you next time.